Hello again on the online Ashram. Thank you, Krishna,
Good
for
afternoon.
getting it going again. Thank you, William, for being present. We have Babaji smiling to us, and I see what he's asking. How was your Shivaratri yesterday? Let's talk to him. Bhaskar Anand, you can't talk? You must unmute your. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. I said the chai was very good.
The chai was very good.
The chai
Okay.
was very good, but it was a very elevated Shivratri, I would say,
Very good.
because there were 70, 80 people, I think, here, and the
Mm.
atmosphere was very clear, and we even got snow on Shivratri day. Shiva likes snow and heights and cold,
Mm.
so it was an excellent Shivratri day in all respects.
That's good to hear.
It's great.
Yeah.
Krishna, what happened there in your
Um, they had arranged
basement?
something in Glastonbury, but me and Rufus couldn't find anywhere to stay, so we didn't go. I don't know how it went. So I spent the day with my child,
Hmm.
and we explored and played and told jokes and were silly to each other.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Hmm. We had some local people here. We did Lingam Puja. Maybe we should explain to our listeners because they might not know what Mahashivaratri is. Can you explain a little bit, Bhaskaranan? William? What is the reason we celebrate Shivaratri and how do we celebrate it and why do people like these celebrations or what do they expect? What do they experience?
What do you experience? That's quite individual, I think. But in general, Shivratri is the yearly day dedicated to Shiva, and it's in March or February on just before New Moon's Day, and this is chosen because of the special energy which is there on Shivratri Day. In fact, you have every week, every month. You have a Shivaratri day, but in February, February, March, it's very special, and they call it Mahashivaratri. And you notice it when it's starting, the energy is changing, and many people are attracted by it. And what we do is we celebrate it with a Lingam Puja, a prayer for Shiva, with giving. Yeah, lingam is a certain egg-like shape stone. The big stone, it's considered as one of the oldest symbols for God. So, and we give it water and we give it flowers and many things to, uh, yeah, to connect us to the deeper values of existence, to connect us to Shiva in our heart. And Shiva is just another name for God. Can be in different forms. Yeah, how you to explain more?
No, thank you very much, Bhaskaran. We had five people, and as you said, um, I also had a completely new person who was never in the temple and never and I had to explain a little bit about Shivaratri. That's why I asked because um, I'm happy to hear you can celebrate it every month. 2 days, I think it's 2 days before the new moon, something
Yes,
like that.
something like that. Yeah, it's
Something
not.
like that.
Well, it's just on the titi. Just the titi is a part. Uh, it's a part. Is it 1/12? Sorry, it's the distance between the sun and the moon. When it's very near to each other and almost coming close together, then they call it Shivaratri. That is Shiva Day, and they mark it Shivaratri Day. And it's just before the new moon, just maybe 1 2 days, depends.
1 2 days. Okay. So I was also explaining, and luckily enough, I was reading a few days before something in the book of the Shastri wrote about um, Charana Shrit, the travels and the go-abouts about of Lord Shiva. And I was reading that this lingam and yoni symbol was a kind of expression of the whole universe, in which the lingam is more the consciousness and the eternal thing, and the yoni is more the expressed creation. And usually we think about creation as diverse, and with our two eyes, our worldly eyes, we look into the world and we see diversity. We are mainly fixed on diversity. And on this Shivaratri, we mainly focus on the consciousness, the essence of consciousness of everything. And all this, what we see, in fact, is just a vibrating consciousness. We're very serious in the world. For us, the world is very real. But it's just an expression of hardened and timely consciousness, which one day exists and the other day not exist. This was the explanation, and we indeed also gave some water, we cleaned it, and we gave some offerings like flowers and perfumes and the panchamrit and all these things. Panchamrit is a mixture of honey, sugar, and it's an offering. We want to satisfy
Honey,
God with it.
sugar, yogurt, milk, ghee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Indeed, indeed. And after that, we still had mm, two groups from India who came. Two groups from India came, and they did also their Lingam Puja after, and we also had a Havan, a fire ceremony.
Nice.
I think it was a special day, and I hope on the ashram there are many occasions for such special celebrations.
Yeah, people are happy or become happy,
Hmm,
and
that's right.
yeah.
And what is the deeper meaning of Mahashivaratri? Is it not the merits of Shiva? Why people celebrate it?
Well, it can be. There are different reasons. The merits of Shiva is one explanation. Yeah, there's the unity of consciousness and creation,
Hmm.
and that generates a very special, beautiful spiritual energy. And are there more explanations? Marriage is one explanation, anyway. And also, some people say it's the story that one day, one time, then there was Vishnu and Brahma were discussing who is the greatest. And Shiva said, or Vishnu said, I am the greatest. Look how unbounded I can be. And Brahma said, I am the greatest. So they make a contest, who is the greatest? And then suddenly a pillar or something of light appeared, of fire, of light. And then Vishnu and Brahma said, okay, the one who can find the end point of the end of this fire or pillar or light pillar, he is the greatest. So one went down, other went up, and to look for the end. So after some time they came back and Vishnu said, I didn't find it. I didn't find it. And Brahma said, I found it. I found it. But that moment, the the pillar of light took the form of Shiva. Shiva, it was a manifestation of Shiva, and Shiva said, "No, you're lying. You didn't find the end. Nobody of you didn't find the end." So, and at that time, they recognized Shiva as the greatest, and this happening seems to be on Shivaratri day.
Okay, another beautiful explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, there are more.
There's a lot of discussion. Maybe this is an interesting topic. Um, the discussion of my God is the greatest, my ideal is the greatest, my religion is the greatest, my culture is the greatest, my ideas are the greatest. Uh, this is bringing a lot of friction in the world. Um, I remember one of Babaji's teaching is the Sanatan Dharma, explaining that, in fact, you can go to Rome by many roads. Or what he often said, you can come to some life satisfaction or knowledge in many ways, like rivers flow to the ocean. You know, we have many big rivers in Europe, Asia, America, and they all flow to the ocean. Where we often explain it as that, but I see there are many problems in the world because of not accepting other ways of thinking or praying or I think there's a general need for people to have an example of God. People want to have an example of God, whether it's in the form of Jesus or Buddha or a prophet like Mohammed or something like that. And, what are your thoughts, Krishna?
I like the idea that it was, you'll try and fib your way, even in the present of greatness. When you know better, you can still fib your way into trying to win, so to speak. Whereas it's telling the truth that you're the winner. Is kind of how I take it. I like all of the tales of India because they are psychological, philosophical metaphors, and they are argued about constantly by everybody for thousands of years what they mean. And I'm not entirely sure if anybody's got the right answer. But yeah, there are, for me, they're all like internalized lessons and metaphors. They're rarely externalized, whereas Western philosophy, Western religions are externalized. So you give away your guilt to somebody else and they will take care of it as long as you, like a king, do as you say.
That's easy. Who would
Which is
like
easy,
to?
yeah. I don't have to do it. And even if I do something wrong, I'll just give it to you, and the burden is now with you, and you forgive me, and I'm free again. And so then you repeat the problems over and over again, and it's much harder. Everything's upside down in each. So in Eastern philosophy, it's you need to look at yourself, whereas that could be deemed as being very selfish. If all you're doing is thinking of yourself, you should be thinking of other things. But then the other way around, it's saying well, no, actually, that's not. If you don't think of yourself and correct your own mistakes, then you are exposing other people to your own issues and problems and causing other people problems. So that is actually selfish in my view, is not to attain to your own issues and problems. Which is why in Eastern philosophy, it's the individual is the highest form. Whereas in Western philosophy, the individual is the most selfish, lowest form. Like you don't want to be individualized. You want to be thinking of the greater good. You're selfish if you think of the individual. Whereas in Eastern philosophy, it's the other way around. Whereas the individual is one of the highest forms that you can attain, because then you are completely out of Maya, and you are completely in control of your bad habits, and you're completely in control of creating a bad environment for other people, if that's your actions or your psychology, or and then you can start attaining a higher level. Which is why I think all the lessons of Babaji are really, it's like, I think he wants us, like, I think Shiva and these people, like, so we do these ceremonies as reminders, as like living reminders of a metaphor. So I think when you ritualize it, I don't think it becomes particularly useful. I think that's just me. I've been around a lot of rituals in my life. And they can create a frenzy in the mind almost, where you then ignore safety, rationale. You might appeal to your own psychosis because you have this frenzy to meet this thing. So I don't know. I haven't quite figured out exactly how I feel about it all, to be honest. I just know that I've got enough problems of my own to deal with. Before I start telling other people, or control other people, or do other things, or make bigger decisions, I think, if you can attain to your own problems first, I think the world would be a much better place. Yeah. So if politicians, for instance, had to deal with their own problems first before flying off to different islands, or as we're finding out, they are, the higher you get in that form of power, the lower you are almost. It doesn't seem right. But yeah, there are a lot of celebrations within Hinduism, and it's easy if you visit them, like you visit a church every Sunday. Then you visit a confession box and you say, "Oh, now I'm clean again. I can start again. I'm not to blame anymore for any mistakes." Then I think the problems continue. Whereas if you try and talk about things, and I think like all religions have the problem, and I don't know if there's like a certain length of time then they just all become equally as dumb as each other. But when you end up getting like blind followers, or they just do it because you do it, it then like it just become a ritualized action. Then I think it loses its utility, and I think there's something far deeper that we have forgotten, and I don't know what that is, but it's linked to vibration, it's linked to these celebrations, it's linked to the moon and the stars, and it's linked to energy, all the way down to how our cells transfer energy from one to each other, so we're healthy. Because it's been an absolutely crazy 4 days around the world. Like volcanoes are popping off all over the place simultaneously. Whole swaths of Europe shut down because of astrological phenomenon. Like it's like you say it's high energy, but it's it's shutting down huge swaths of Western society on a scientific level. I don't know if there is a difference between the two or not. So there's something to it, and I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm waffling.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think what I wanted to say was people do things because that's what is done. And they do things because that's not necessarily what they've been told, but they're copying what other things have been doing. And I think it takes, this is why I thought that there's value in what these conversations, because there are more, you can talk about things, and without talking about things, you can't come to an understanding. So that's where I take value of these conversations, because I saw a lot of, I've seen a lot of it over the years since, you know, growing up with Babaji. I've seen a lot of people come and go, and I've seen like a lot of frenzy and fury and like how desperation of, you know, to attain something, like if it's just to touch the fire, and you just think like, well, you're so frenzied at touching the fire that you've, you know, there's the danger of spilling the oil on other people, and that's like, that doesn't seem right, does it? So I just think, yeah, like just everybody needs to chill out a little bit, talk a bit, understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, what the lessons are, you know, what the old stories, like Baskin I was saying, of, well, like I've never heard that. Like the old stories of, you know, the competitions of the gods, so to speak. And they're all metaphors. I like, well, I believe that. I don't know if they're real or not. You know, nobody knows. But what you can say is that they're useful as metaphors, one way or another.
Thank you for your views, Krishna. William, can you maybe expand on the different religions and your view? Do you think it is like Babaji, like all rivers flowing to the same ocean? Something like this kind of metaphor. Can you expand on it?
Yes, yes. If you consider religions as rivers, then yeah, it's like Babaji says. All these rivers, they flow and they flow to the ocean, and in the ocean they come at rest. And I think also that different rivers or different religions have also to do with the needs of the people who are in the religion. So, but they have to overcome, like Krishna is always saying, they're also saying they have to overcome their habits, and they have to go deeper. They have to go deeper into themselves. And then we arrive at, I think, more common human values, like brotherhood, like love, like confidence to do things, like courage, like vision, maybe. And these, and Babaji is reminding that there are three principles: truth, love, and simplicity, which are most important for every religion. They not only Christianity or Hinduism, but also Islam. Every religion has to go in this direction. If they don't go, there's something wrong with the religion. It's they forget, because Babaji, one of the most beautiful things he explained was that in fact there is only one religion, and this religion is humanity. So you have to go. We have to find harmony and with each other, and we have to give tolerance. We have to love. We have to recognize each other as all different souls coming from one soul in the end. So there is unity, there is harmony, and this we should see to promote. First within ourselves, and secondly in our relationships. And that's not easy.
No.
Not always easy. No.
It feels like it's tempting just to get lost in the incense and the vibe, the singing, crawl back to the cave. And actually, the hard work is your relationship with your wife, or your estranged child, or the person you're always arguing with at the cricket club or something. That's where the problems lie, and they're the ones that need the solution.
Yeah, you need to go further than a superficial discussion.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to turn to things, look into yourself as the other. How you excuse if of you you see things in the other which are maybe more strong in yourself, and instead of correcting the other, you have to correct yourself.
Yeah, everything would be okay if everybody just did as they were told. Do as I say, and everything will be fine. It's like, no,
Yeah.
that rarely works as a solution. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's we react all different on different circumstances, on the same circumstances. But we have to do it with truth, love, and simplicity.
I think that's why I love it so much. I think it's because, like, it's very hard to corrupt. Like, it's very hard to deviate from the lesson. It's very hard to manipulate for your own gain. It's very hard to try and get something out of it for yourself, in a selfish way, because it's so simple. And it's like, he wants us to stand with him side by side. He wants us to elevate ourselves to godhood, and he wants us to, and you have these three simple things. It's like, if you can't, like, he realizes that we're all morons, or we're all lost, or we're all broken, or whatever. It's just like, okay, here's three things, just try those. And and then I find it so difficult. I find it so difficult, just at times, like people ask about, like, they want to hear whimsical things. They want to hear this deep philosophy, this deep Eastern philosophy. Like, they want to be told what to do, and they want it to be the right, and they want to be kind of lost in this kind of, like, this exotic world. And it's not like that. It's harsher than that. It's just go and look in the mirror. And I find it like I have a bad habit. I can be lazy, so I want to go to bed early, or stay in bed longer than I should. And sometimes if I really concentrate, I can nail it, and I'm really good. And then before I know it, I'm like sleeping in again till past 7:30, which I should be up at 7 every day, really, if not earlier. At 6 or 6:30, 5:30 would be more productive. And then you realize that it's been several months and you've slipped back into the mire, and you think, oh God. And then you've got it's not second nature. You're just constantly slipping in and out of mire, and mire isn't just it's like an everyday intended existence based around the principles that we've talked about. Seems to be a life outside of mire. And then anything that's not kind of intentional and all becomes second nature just seems to be like, oh, I've gone back to sleep again. Right. Oh, I've got to wake up again.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be very awake. You have to so awake that you see the first impulses in your heart, because that seems to be truth. Like Babaji is saying, the truth is inside you. But you need to be clear, and you need to be maybe even silent, that you are not confused through other thoughts or vibrations or whatsoever.
And sometimes we're not perfect. Sometimes the first instinct is not very nice.
Yeah.
And that gives you something to work on if you're willing to see that monster in yourself, your dark side.
Yeah.
It's it's common in most people. Otherwise, road rage wouldn't exist. I think that's what these rituals, I find, like these rituals, yes, they mark something specific, because they have to, but they're useful as a constant reminder, and before, because it's not second nature, essentially, is it? Because we are just human beings.
I think rituals are also to connect us back to ourselves in some way.
Which is God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, for me, I can tell you rituals, they are subtle functioning. Like, for instance, this is a completely different thing. We now are online ashram, connected with Wi-Fi, with the internet. But with these rituals, I believe we are connecting with an old system of energy, which is much higher than this GSM towers for which we pay a lot of money, and these abonnements. It's nice that it exists because we can have this kind of talk, but most people, they are disconnected with, I would say, the deeper layers of energy which we are able to connect with as humans. We are thinking so rather from our heart to our stomach instead of from our heart to our brain. Of course, the stomach. I don't deny the stomach. I'm a lifelong cook, and I like good food. But there's really something much more and higher energies which humans need. And for me, these rituals, they come on days when I can rest more. It's usually more easy to do a ritual or to sing a song or a mantra than to hack the wood. I like hacking wood, but on some days, I also like doing these rituals to increase the energy. And I believe so, and that I believe, Krishna, that you said you can get lost or get into some. If you think it's the only way to evolve, and this is another part of Babaji's teaching, which I like so much. He was so practical. You can meditate when you work. If you do your work well, without selfish intent, you can even earn your living with it. Because to earn something for your work is normal. Yes? If it is appreciated, people pay for your services. But it doesn't need to be with selfish intent. It doesn't need to be, I'm going to cheat these people for extra profit, or, I'm overpriced. My products or services are overpriced, so I'm getting rich quickly. All this is kind of thinking more about the material part of our work, our rewarding. We are manipulating our rewarding. Then a natural reward. You do something good for someone. You sell a bag. You make a rucksack, and people give you money for it. That's excellent. No, I'm making a meal. Bhaskranand is reading an astrological chart, and yeah, that's okay. What was Babaji doing? He didn't want the money. He said, if you want to give me money, why don't you make a temple or make a place for meditation or expand the ashram? I don't need your money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lately, I'm reading regularly here also on LinkedIn Vashista Yoga. This was the teacher of Rama, and it's a very nice book. He's more or less repeating all the time the same. We are confused because we see things wrong, from the wrong perspective. If we see things from the level of consciousness beyond time and space, we can accept much more and life will flow much easier because there is no conflict, there's only growth. If we are disconnected with our deepest consciousness, we have a problem. We are not our body, and our life is a short time on this planet. And our continuous identification with only body gives a big problem. But in fact, the body is also a piece of consciousness. And if we can treat the body more as consciousness, we can listen more to its real needs. It means not too much food, not too little food, and it needs this or that. And it's all okay. It's a beautiful book, and I'm continuing to read it so publicly for the people. And it's this is also a nice thing. I see, to be honest, we could invite also experts of different traditions, of religious traditions or philosophical traditions, where we can find a unity in. Babaji often said, I'm not trying to teach you anything new. Keep your life, keep your religion. Your religion is to lead to God. The only thing I can do is to lift you with my energy so that you can understand your religion better, your culture better, and your own self better. Because in fact, it's all about understanding our own persons, our soul. What is the deepest part of our soul? We have an individual part. We are all meant to do something specific. And we have a universal part, which is you are me, I am you. We are one. We are not different. Accept these other people as they are. If they want to kill you, you have to protect yourself. If they want to love you, be aware that if you really want to have a family. It is, all the interactions are interactions of consciousness, and we must choose what we want. And if we are deeply connected with ourselves, with our heart, with our brains, many people say the heart and the brain are different things, but they are also expressions of the same consciousness. And if we are deeper in our consciousness, it is one. The heart and brain are one, and the stomach is even one. Or the procreation organs are also one. They all come in function at the right time for the right thing, for the right purpose. And we have control over these things. Because all the time we can say yes or no. I want this. Or I would like to refuse this because I feel this is no good way to go. I shouldn't go there. And there's nothing wrong. This is consciousness is also deciding. And what Fascista also said is very nice. He said, the mind is a fiction. The mind is something created between the matter and the consciousness. But it's better to be conscious and not have a mind. A mind is a stupid organ which is usually worrying and attaching itself to what it really wants very much, not deciding whether it is really useful for you or not useful for you. And the consciousness is much wiser. This is the wise. It's beyond the mind. It is, in fact, it's your own divine intelligence, which is a way.
Yeah, the mind sees differences, and the consciousness sees the unity.
Exactly. And the mind is worrying. And the mind is attached to these desires, which often are not profitable for us, nor for our health, nor for our well-being.
Now, one should be moderate in these things, otherwise the desire takes you instead of you take the desire. You solve the desire.
Yes,
And in the
yeah,
end, you have to become beyond, you have to be the master of your desires.
yes,
So, someone was saying that you need time between the manifestation of desires. If you solve something and you are happy, you need the time in between the desires to reload yourself. So you have to be sometime without desires or without thoughts how to fulfill them, just to reload your energy, to connect to yourself, to insight, to connect to nature, to connect to consciousness or whatsoever. And if you run one after the other, you lose your energy only and you forget to reconnect. But in the end, you have to be the master of your desires and not get confused by them or too much excited in whatever way, positive or negative. And you be conscious, yeah, you have to be conscious of what is your what you like to do specific in your life, in your art, in the long run. And
Yeah, I find it very difficult.
it's not just a run after desires.
Mm.
if a desire is also coming from consciousness, from a deeper consciousness, it has a purpose. But there's something more. I think I had a conversation yesterday. Was Herr Siddharth Agrawal? Uh, he
Ah,
was
okay.
he was conducting with us also there. Um, he became a successful businessman in some kind of medical project with 30 workers somewhere. He's leading a company, and he told a very nice thing, also with regard to the ashram, because mm, we were just exchanging thoughts here, and he said, if the deepest vibration of your soul, of your the essence of your being, if it knows what it really wants, it becomes extremely strong, and this desire will manifest.
Hmm.
It will manifest through your thoughts, your actions, but also through the possibilities which come from the environment, because you are meant to do these things and achieve these things. They are completely in line with also a need in the environment. You're just fulfilling a need. And there's something like there's no time for worry, there's no time for doubt, there's no time to, um, there's no gap between your soul and starting to realize what you really want, where you are born for. It's your dharma. In dharma, what I would say,
It's
it's
in your nature. It's in your nature.
your nature, or your talent, which is hidden in you, which is starting to express when you really start to give it water, yeah, the water of consciousness, the water of your
Hmm.
own soul. It can't stop. It can't stop them anymore. And I like the explanation very much.
Yes, it's a nice explanation. Um, I have a few minutes left. I don't know.
We have 5 minutes until the end, but we can
Okay.
stop for today. I think we said all beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
I hope somebody had profit from it. And shall we continue in 2 weeks or in 1 week?
Yeah. 2 weeks is good.
2 weeks, yes?
2 weeks, yes.
On the 2nd of March.
2nd of March. So I will put it out and then we'll meet on the 2nd of March with.
Then I'm just arriving in Krakow in Poland.
Mm.
So we might be alone, Krishna, or with Babaji only.
Yeah.
We'll find it out.
We'll find
Okay.
out.
Or maybe Ilona is joining. I'm sending it now. I made on WhatsApp a special group for the online ashram. So I'm publishing you will get it automatically when I publish there the link. And also, if you want, you can extend the invitations by your social media. Then you should log in a little bit earlier and just extend it like that.
Okay.
Great.
Bali Baba Ki Jai.
Bhagavad Gita.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.